Afternoon, folks. Chief Meteorologist Nick Lilia here with a look at your tropical update for August 22nd of 2019, brought to you by Pine Belt Gutters. We've got a fair amount of action happening in the tropics right now. Thank goodness, nothing of incredible consequence. This looks just very robust this afternoon. And, you know, if you're just kind of eyeballing this, you'd be like, man, that's maybe a little alarming. But the good news is the National Hurricane Center isn't concerned about any kind of development there. Out into the Caribbean, we are watching this guy close to the Bahamas. This is something the National Hurricane Center is keeping tabs on. More on that in a hot second. Nice and clear in the Caribbean, and out into the open Atlantic we go. We've got this little thing spinning around right here. Another wave coming off the coast of Africa, which looks, again, another kind of robust looking thing that isn't really going to do much of anything over the next 48 to about 120 hours, or 2 to 5 days. As we look at the modeling, I'm going to highlight two different things here. We're going to look at the American and the European modeling, because they're kind of saying two separate things about what's happening a little closer to home. We've got this little wave right here. This is wave number 1 that we've been talking about again for about a week and a half, with a 30% chance of development over the next 5 days. Is going to, according to the American model, split. We're going to have one fork back off and go off to the north and east, and one little chunk kind of make it into the Gulf of Mexico to roll around for about a day or two before that gets pulled back around and back off to the north and east. Back in behind that, just a slew of dry air gets into the Caribbean, and then we've got 1, 2, 3 waves out here to keep tabs on through the next couple of days. Here we go through Thursday and Friday of next week, and this one gets a little better organized, but you see what's happening back in behind me. We actually had on the tail end of a little front a little chunk kind of break off in the latest rendering of our GFS model here and kind of find itself in the middle of the Gulf of Mexico before kind of dragging back off to the west as we head through your Labor Day holiday weekend. This is the first time it's shown up, which doesn't give me very high confidence that this is a viable outcome. However, if it sticks around for the next couple of runs of the GFS, it would be worth noting and watching. At the same time, we also have, again, one wave here, another wave here, and another wave back here to keep tabs on. The first one, the GFS has actually been picking up on the last couple of days. It has it kind of float around and somewhere off to the north and east of the Bahamas as we head through past the Labor Day holiday weekend and through about the middle to end of that next week. So not next week, but the week after. And then we've got, again, more waves as you head back off to the east of that. Okay, over to the European model. This one's a little bit different. Wave number 1, it keeps it kind of held together and pulls it off to the northeast. Then back in behind it, it's got a slew of dry air. We've got a little area of low pressure that gets picked up and into parts of Georgia. Big front comes through. Instead of something breaking off into the Gulf of Mexico, it pile drives a bunch of dry air in here through Thursday, Friday, and Saturday as we head through, again, your holiday weekend. So instead of having something in the Gulf of Mexico, it has a bunch of dry air. And instead, it has that wave that was in the GFS model about right there, a little further off northeast. It has it a little closer to the Greater and Lesser Antilles. If this happens and holds out, we wouldn't have anything to worry about close to home for the holiday weekend. However, with this being a little further off to the south, this next wave would be one to keep tabs on as we head through the end of the following week. Again, not the end of next week, but the week after. It would be something to keep tabs on at that point as something that folks in the Gulf Coast or even along the East Coast would have to keep tabs on. So again, stuff happening out there, nothing imminent, but stuff in kind of the medium-ish to longish range to keep tabs on as we head past your Labor Day holiday weekend. And there's a look at your tropical update for August 22nd of 2019, brought to you by the good folks at Pine Belt Gutters.